Yeah, hello, my name is Eberhard Rothfuss. I'm a social geographer at the Geographic Institute at the University of Bayreuth, and I'm a member of the research section Moralities. The project is called Moral Geographies of Re-existence, Day Life Practices and the Good Life in two Afro-descendant neighborhoods in Salvador da Bahia, Brazil, and Cartagena de Indias, Colombia. And this project started in December 2019 and will last for 4 years. Our project deals with urban life of two marginalized neighborhoods of Afro-descendant communities. One in Salvador da Bahia, the quarter is called Uruguay, and the other quarter is called Barrio Chino in Cartagena de Indias. And therefore, we are interested in understanding how former slaves who live there, kind of precarious, marginalized life in these neighborhoods of two very unequal societies, Brazil and Colombia, how these Afro-descendant communities live their lives, what kind of moral topographies they develop through inequalities, who they are forced through racism, marginalization and exclusion. The topic is therefore quite interesting, as we have the cluster of excellence, Africa Multiple, and this topic deals with the multiple Africa, and this is Africa, the Africa diaspora in South America, and therefore this shows the multiplicity of African life worlds, not just on the continent, but in the diaspora. And about 200 million people in South America are of African origin, and therefore it's a very important societal aspects, at least in countries where this population is quite numerous, like Brazil and Colombia. In this project, we want to understand local life worlds, how the people perceive inequalities, how they are forced in these unequal lives. Therefore, we try to understand hermeneutically the local people, and that means we work ethnographically with a documentary method, reconstructing the meaning of the practices of the people, of their intentions in their lives. And we want to integrate participatory action research to integrate shared understanding of knowledge production. So it's a matter of co-production of knowledge through participatory action research, which we want to integrate as a very important part of the research methodology of our project. In these times, it is quite very critical to talk already about empirical outcomes of the project. But luckily, as the PhD Valerie Gruber is very busy already doing ethnographic research virtually, she worked the last year quite intensively with local activists, artists, community leaders in both communities via online meetings. And what crucial outcome we can say already, that due to this specific methodology, participatory action research, where the local groups are integrated in the process of knowledge production, we see clear evidence that the people have a strong moral topography of their lives. They evaluate their lives emancipatorily in these unequal societies. We can get clear a clear picture already out of their strategies, out of their practices, how to deal with inequalities, how they produce own identities in their neighborhoods, how they struggle against exclusion, how the people struggle against racism, and so on and so forth. So therefore we are in the middle of interpreting this first virtual ethnographical data, but can show that people have a strong moral topography of their lives. Let's start with the concept of reflexivity. As we have chosen this specific participatory methodology, we reflect our own positionality as researchers from the global north and get in dialogue with the people from the global south. And due to this co-production of knowledge, we reflect power differentials, we reflect our knowledge production in general, and try to overcome blind spots of research due to this specific methodology. And therefore, we address the issue of reflexivity. The second important concept, relationality, we address at least threefold. The first issue is that through this South-South comparison, it is about Africa in Latin America. Therefore, the people have a strong relation to their home country, even through hundreds of years ago, when the slaves were deported to South America. So therefore, there's a relationality of memory, there's a relationality of belonging. So on the South-South level, we have this relational trans-area or transcontinental perspective. And on the transnational level, so we compare Brazil and Colombia, compare their two marginalized urban quarters, neighborhoods, and have there a strong relational comparative approach. And in itself, as an unequal society produces marginalization, the people who are affected through racism and marginalization, they relate their relational embedded in these power structures. And that is why the people react very strong on this hegemonial power of the powerful, of the government, of the better off, of the white people who have a kind of subtle, invisible, opaque oppression. And therefore, this concept of the moral topography of inequality, of being Afro-descendant, is relational in itself too. And the third, I would say quite very complex concept, multiplicity, we address through an approach which is called multiterritorialidade, multi-territoriality, which is a theoretical approach from Brazilian geographer. So we use a concept of the global south to address the multiplicity of spaces. So the people belong to a former space in Africa, they belong to a marginalized space, they have an imagination of an imagined space of a better world, of a better future, of the good life, to overcome inequality, to overcome discrimination, to overcome exclusion. So therefore, our multiplicity perspective is researched through the concept of multi-territoriality. Our project of moral geographies of re-existence fits quite very well into, I would say, the best research section in the cluster, the research section moralities. And therefore, I'm really in favor to get first empirical data, discussed with my colleagues in the research section, with the young scholars, with my colleagues, PIs like Eva Spies or Martina Drescher, that we have really now, and we are already in the middle of discussing moral issues of doing ethics, that is the main focus of the research section moralities, so that we gain together a shared knowledge and multiple knowledge through our discussions in the research section moralities.